Morning, Rose. How are you today?
Good morning.
Not quite time yet. You need to wait a minute.
Hey.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Living Traditions Homestead. It's an overcast morning here in Missouri, but the day is supposed to clear up as it goes on. Yesterday, we got about 4.5 inches of rain in really about 12 or 16 hours. It was just crazy the amount of rain that we got. There were a couple bad storms that moved through our area. The tornado sirens even went off in town for a while, but nothing really bad happened here, so we were safe and everybody is doing well.
So today we decided to bring you guys along for a good part of our day today. And y'all have been asking to see and get updates on our new milk cow Rose and her calf Babe. So we thought we'd show you those guys today.
And then we wanted to show you guys how well this batch of broiler chickens are doing that we have growing right now. They're actually going to be processed next week. We're going to process them if we get a break in the weather next week. We need to watch because it looks like we're in for another pretty long stretch of rain next week. So we'll just have to see. But you guys are going to be amazed at just 7.5 weeks old how fast they're growing.
But we also do have one small project, one thing we need to get done today. So we thought we'd bring you along on that too.
Right now we're standing up in the barn lot by our milking barn. The milking barn's right over here. Where you just saw us take Rose in to milk for the morning. Rose and Babe have been up in this lot for the last week or so. Obviously you can tell by the amount of grass that's growing, and there's plenty of grass to keep her full, but it's time to let her back out into her big pasture.
Her big pasture is way more than one dairy cow and her calf could possibly need to feed them. So occasionally we need to rotate the beef cows through there so they eat it down, and then move them into another part of our, rotational grazing program that we have. So today is the day that the beef cows need to go to another location.
So we're going to bring you along as we do that a little later in the day. First, we're going to have to fix a gate that leads into that next area that the cows need to go to, because the last time I opened the gate, it's probably a 30, 40, 50-year-old gate. Probably, I don't know. Yeah. It's an old gate, and the last time I opened it, it actually broke in half. So it's not going to hold the cows in anymore, so we're actually going to put up a new gate on that area today, and then we're going to move the cows in. That way you guys can see how all of our other herd of cows are doing. There's now 4 calves in that herd.
They're growing so well.
They are growing so well.
Good.
So we just have a lot of little things to do around the homestead today. We're going to bring you guys along as we work on all of those and just show you kind of what a normal day here on our homestead is like. Full of work, but full of good, rewarding work.
There is one update, one kind of change of plans. Last week we were so excited to tell you that Grower Solutions was coming this week to set up our brand new greenhouse, but the weather was so kind of crazy and uncertain. Now they're coming all the way from Tennessee to southern Missouri to help us with that, and they were going to send about 9 people or so with their video crew and everything, and their weather forecast was just too uncertain for them to send everybody, so they're holding off until maybe June or July. Right.
So it is going to be a little bit of a quite a bit of time yet before that happens, but we all kind of talked and thought, you know what, the weather this time of year in the Ozarks is just it's unpredictable.
It really is.
From day to day, really, and it's going to be hard to schedule that time this time of year. So once we get to June or July, typically we're more of a drought type time of
Right,
year
yeah.
where things really dry up, and it'll be a much safer bet for them. We sure don't want them to waste a trip out here, and we certainly want them to be able to get everything done that they need to get done while they make the trip.
Okay, well, we've got birds that need to come out of their coops. We've got the broilers that need to move to their next spot. So let's get moving.
All right, let's get ready to go over and move the broiler chickens for the morning, but first we need to fill up their feeders. Now, by this point, really starting at 3 weeks old, broiler chickens we feed 12 hours on, 12 hours off. So they have automatic feeders, which I have videos about how to make these automatic feeders. They work really well for the broilers. And they'll eat most of this today. Once they're this size, they go through almost a whole 5-gallon pail full of food a day. We've got 25 Cornish cross in each tractor that we're about to go feed. So let's take this over, we'll move them for the day, then we'll come back and fill up their waters. So you can see how big they're getting. Again, they're just over 7 weeks old, or maybe 7 weeks old today. I can't remember. It's either 7 or 7.5 weeks that they are right now. So we'll be processing all of these sometime next week in between the rain. Let's go ahead and open one of the tractors so you guys can see, and then we'll move them. So every day we move this one space forward. We've already gone down one row. If you can look here behind me, you can see here 2 rows where we've already moved the chickens. And if you look way back there where we started, you can see how much greener the grass is in those areas because of the great fertilizer that they provide for this area as we move them along. So it's really pretty crazy. Now right here where they were recently, there's still quite a bit of poop. But as we get rain, that'll soak into the ground. And that's be nice fertilizer for the orchard here. One thing that we've done to our chicken tractors that I don't know if I've ever really showed before is because we use kind of old metal on the sides and on the top, sometimes they leak in the rain. So we've added a piece of this heavy duty vinyl, this is old billboard material. We've added that to the top of each tractor, but we haven't attached it all the way. So on nice sunny days or warm days, like today, I can actually peel this back. They get extra ventilation, but on the days where, like yesterday, where we got all that rain, we can put that forward and it gives them extra protection from the rain. All right, so this is how I move the chickens every day. First, I dump out any water they had left from overnight. We'll give them fresh water every morning. We give them water every morning and night. When I take their food away at night, I give them fresh water as well. Now, they're pretty excited about getting their food, but sometimes they stay kind of toward the back of the tractor. I kind of set their food here for a second. It gets all of their attention. They run toward this side. Then I move the tractor. Just about 2 feet or so before I put their food in. Then I put their food in, they all come running for the food. And then I move the tractor so that the food is under the covered end of the tractor. And that's all there is to it. Pretty easy process. We'll do the other tractor and then we'll go back and get them both some new water. All right, so we'll do exactly the same thing to this one. Now we do get a lot of questions from you guys about why don't we put wheels on our chicken tractors? And the truth is, it's completely unnecessary. It is so easy to move these without wheels that I really just feel like wheels would be just another thing to break or another thing to get, messed up. So I see absolutely no reason to have wheels on these chicken tractors. They're so easy to move. Really, I mean, you don't have to be very strong to move them at all. I just think it's completely unnecessary to have wheels. All right, here you go, guys. And just like that, they have fresh grass for the day. All right, let's go get everybody's waters filled up. All right, so these are the automatic waterers that we use for the chickens, and the same video that I have about making the feeder, I talk about how to make these waterers. They're super easy to make, cost effective, and they do a really great job. So I do get a lot of questions about them though, and I wanted to answer a couple of those. Really the main question is, because the way that this waterer works is we're gonna fill this up. You can see there's a hole on each side. We're gonna put a cover on here, and then once the cover's on, we'll tip it upside down. We'll put it in a pan like this, and it will let out enough water up to where those holes are. Once the water line gets to where the holes are, the water will stop coming out of the bucket until the chickens drink some, and it goes below that hole and it fills back up to that hole. I don't know all of the science behind all of that works, if it's something to do with all of the pressure and all of that. All I know is that it works, and it works really well. But a lot of you have said, it seems like it's awful heavy to have to tip the bucket upside down. Why don't you just drill the holes in the bottom of the bucket and then you wouldn't have to tip the bucket upside down? Well, there's a couple problems with that. The first problem is, so if the holes were in the bottom of the bucket and I had to carry this bucket of water over there, by the time I got over there, I'd be soaked and half my water would be gone. But that's not the real reason why you don't put the hole in the bottom of the bucket. The real reason is because the lid on these types of buckets doesn't create a strong enough seal to create that pressure inside the bucket to stop the water from coming out. So if you were to do it that way, the water would just eventually just run out, unless you had a really tight-fitting lid that would hold all of that pressure. And I hope that makes sense. Like, I do know they make some like screw-on lids. Maybe those would work. I've never tried them, but for me, it just doesn't make sense. So we just continue to do it the way we've always done it, which is put the holes up here. And when you add this, just put it in upside down. It's not hard to do, and it works really well. So let's get these filled up. We'll take them back over the chickens, and I'll show you how they work. All right, so we'll put our pan in, take one of our buckets of water, and we'll just flip it over inside of the pan, and you can see the water coming out. And we'll just do the same things for these. One thing with these Cornish cross, they drink a lot of water. They'll go through 2 buckets of water a day for 25 chickens. So each of these tractors will go through 2 buckets a day. So that's one important thing. You gotta make sure they always have water. The feed is 12 hours on, 12 hours off, but water needs to be all the time.
Well, the chickens and ducks have been waiting patiently for us to let them out. So let's go give them some feed and let them out so that they can enjoy some breakfast. Last night, because of all the rain, their feeder was just filled with water. So we tipped it over overnight and now it's ready for feed. Let's let them out. Okay, well now that morning chores are all done, we can get started on the project that we need to get done so that we can move those cows. Rose is ready to go out to her pasture and the beef cows are ready to go on to their new pasture. So we have some things to get ready before we can do that. So let's go on to the next project.
So this is the gate that we need to fix today, or actually replace. We're not going to fix it. Just to kind of show you where we're at here on the homestead. Over here on this side of the driveway is where the cows are now. This is also the big pasture that Rose and Babe are normally in, but because we wanted it grazed down a little bit, we moved the beef herd in here. So later today, after we get this gate replaced, there's a gate right here on this side of the driveway, and then we'll open this gate here, and we'll have them just move across the driveway into this area here. Now this area is where our big pond is. So once they get over into here, they'll have the pond as a water source. Our plan eventually is to have alternate water sources for them so they don't have to drink out of the ponds. But, you know, we don't have time to do everything immediately. So for now, probably for this summer yet, they're going to be drinking out of the pond, which is common practice here. But just at some point, we'd like to be able to put fish in that pond or more fish in that pond. So we'd like to keep the cows out at that point. But for now, that's what they have as a water source. And then they'll have this whole area over here, which is probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 acres. And they'll stay here for the next few weeks, and then they'll move to another paddock behind there. We'll kind of show you all of that before we get ready to move them, because we need to go check and make sure all of the gates are closed and that that they'll be able to stay just where they are. So we're going to get started on fixing this gate. You can see this gate it's an old gate. There's a name for these types of gates, and I forget what it is, but these were a real popular type of gate a long time ago. I guess here it says Econo gate, I guess, steel panel, farm gate. Anyway, these were a pretty popular gate a long time ago, but these are pretty worn out. So you can see over time it's just kind of bent, and you know, the metal has cracked here. This one finally cracked all the way through the other day. It's about to crack through up here. So eventually this gate's just going to fall apart. So we're going to take it down today. I'm going to take it back to the shop, and I might be able to weld some of this back together and use it for something kind of light duty. But as far as the cows go, I want to make sure we have a good strong gate. So I don't want to use this for cows anymore. So we're going to take it down, and we're actually going to replace it with this gate that we bought right here. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to use all of the same hardware. So let's get started and get this project going. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is just undo everything that's here.
Does it just lift off?
Just lifts off. So let's see. Well, I was hoping that this would just pull off, but nothing's ever as easy as or as fast as you think it's going to be. So I think I'm going to have to actually see if I can get these old rusty bolts out of here to actually take part of this hinge off. Which, remarkably, it's actually coming out. All right, let's see. We should be able to pull it that way, I think. There we go. All right, let's move it out of the way.
Well, look over here. Looks like they know what's coming up. They are ready for fresh grass. So we need to get going so they can get over to the new side where there's long grass for them. You're hungry, aren't you?
All right, ready? All right, moment of truth to see if we're gonna be able to just reuse all of the hardware on this post. On this old pole, I really don't want to have to drill new holes if I don't have to. It's not a real strong pole, but it is still pretty solid and it's cemented in. I just don't know if it can handle having more holes drilled in it. So let's see what we can do here. You up a little higher.
Well, it's not straight, but it's on.
Cows are hungry.
They say it's good enough and don't care that it's crooked.
Let's see. All right, we're gonna try to make a few adjustments, but the cows are getting restless.
They are. They're ready to go. Their calves are so cute.
All right, this gate is installed. The old pole is still working as good as it can, so we're fine with that. We do need to go check the back gate on this pasture so that we make sure that when we let them in here, they can't get to the pasture behind this. So we're gonna bring you guys along as we go on a little drive on the UTV to check out that back pasture. But you can see these guys over here, they are getting ready to move. So we don't want to make them wait too much longer because we've done this in the past where we take too long and then they just go back to grazing and then it's like pulling teeth to get them to come again. So we want to do this while they're here and ready to go. So just to give you guys an idea of how big this paddock is here, we're now just on the other side of our pond. The pond is right here behind this berm. And then this pasture goes pretty much to where you can see some trees way in the back there. So it's a pretty big pasture. It'll be big enough for these cows for the next couple weeks. And then actually the pasture behind this is even bigger. So we'll move them there after this. But for today, we need to go check the back gate. Let's keep going. All right, good thing we came and checked. I actually thought this gate was closed, but it's open, which means they would have gotten two pastures, which we don't want them to have. Part of doing good rotational grazing is making sure you're only giving them where you want them to eat. So we'll close this one for now. And then in a couple weeks, they'll move to the other side. All right, now that that back gate is shut, we're back up by the cows. Hopefully they're still interested in moving. I'm using the old gate here to help block off part of the road. We're using the UTV on the other side, and I think this will work out just fine.
Yep. Give me that. Thank you.
If everything goes well, they're just gonna move from here to here. Come on, cows.
Come on, girls. Come on. Come on, cows. Come on.
Here they come.
Come on. Come on, cows. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, cows. Come on. Come on, cows. Come on. Come on.
Now this is a new gate that we just recently installed on this side of the driveway here. So they've never been through that. Well, they've only been through this gate once before. All the other gates around here, they're used to going through. So I think that's why they're not quite sure about this one yet.
Come on.
So we're just gonna have to be patient here.
Come on, girls. Come on.
There we go. Come on, cows.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
There we go. Come on.
Come on, cows. Come on.
All the calves are last. All right, that's all of them. That was a little bit too much work.
It was stressful anyway.
So I don't know how long this is all going to look on video, but that took probably 10 or 15 minutes to get the little ones actually across the driveway. So not terrible, but they were definitely more afraid. So, but everybody is successfully moved. We're going to latch this gate up. We're going to leave them in there for a while, and then we'll check back in with you guys in a little bit after they're all settled in, and we'll see how they're doing. Well, it's been about 2 or 3 hours since we moved the cows into this area. We're getting almost into evening time now. You can see the cows are all the way down at the far end of this pasture. So let's take a walk part way down, see what they're up to, and make sure everybody's okay. I'm really pleased with how well our grass is growing. We purposely kept the cows out of this area and most of the other areas until grass started to grow again for the year. But you can see just how beautiful the grass is, especially with all that rain that we've gotten the last, well, lot yesterday. But even prior to that, we've had some good rains. So grass is growing well. The hayfield out here is doing well too. Obviously the cows won't be going to the hayfield, but I'm happy with the way everything's growing. All right, let's keep going down further past the pond so we can see the cows. Well, looks like everybody is doing well. They're enjoying their new salad bar out here. Really just having a good time eating. A lot of them are laying down, which to me says that they're good and content. They have everything that they need. Looks like the calves made their way back to the moms. And it's going to be a good next couple of weeks for them to graze down this area. After this, they'll move further on that way. And they have a pretty big area over that way that they'll be able to graze down. That'll probably take them even 3 or 4 weeks probably before then we rotate them back through this area. It'll be kind of a circle that we go around all summer long, and we'll just keep doing this every few weeks. We'll just pay attention to the grass and see, you know, the height of the grass, and we'll just kind of keep an eye on that over the next few weeks and move them when we think it's time. The last thing that we're going to do this evening is go back up by the barn. Now that these cows have moved, we can let Rose and Babe back out into their big pasture. I know she's going to be happy about that. Even though she has plenty of grass right up there by the barn, you know the saying, the grass is always greener. She's been looking out that gate, wanting to get out into that big pasture, because apparently the grass tastes a lot better on that side of the fence. So we're going to head back up to the barn and let them back out.
Are you ready to go out here? Come on. Go on. Go on, babe. Come on.
Well, we sure are glad that you guys spent the day with us getting more work done here on the homestead. There's always more work to do. It seems like as soon as you get one project done, another one pops up. Some take a long time, some you can hammer out a few in a day. Today was a good day. We got a few things done, and all of the animals seem like they're happy now.
We're so glad that you guys joined us today. You know, if you're enjoying our videos, it would be great if you would hit the subscribe button below. Also, the best way to help us here on the homestead is just to share our videos. Until next time, thank you so much for stopping by our homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.